So the unknown guy in Birth by Sleep, he's a bastard. He is probably the hardest boss that I've fought so far in Kingdom Hearts. I haven't messed around too much with the optional bosses in 3DS, but you know the final boss in that game was pretty rough. So I can't imagine that like Pete-looking monstrosity. I forget what it's called. But this guy so far takes the cake. It's ridiculous. So the problem with him is that he has a serious amount of sort of RNG elements to him, and there's a certain amount of stuff that you can do to sort of manipulate it, and I'll see if I can guide you guys in the right direction. I don't know if it's going to work for everybody. It worked for me, and I'm hoping that it works for you guys. I want to start off by saying that this is not going to be a super technical guide. I'm a noob, and this is a guide for other noobs who aren't that great or aren't, you know, speedrun levels of skilled at fighting bosses in Kingdom Hearts. And to be fair, every time I looked up a guide on how to beat this guy, everybody sort of just happened to beat him. It was never really like a, yep, and then I do this, yep, and then I do that, and there he's done. It was always sort of like, oh, thank God I got that. So, you know, that's gonna be the same way. Except, you know, with Aqua and Ventus, it was sort of easier to do because they have that invincible roll. So to start off, he has certain types of starting patterns for when he's visible before he hits like halfway through his health. Any option that has this Doom attack where he sends out some strings and a counter starts is the worst possible option to have. So what you want to do is you want to get rid of the light of the Doom attack. If you can do that, it's doable. So I'm gonna show you a couple of loadouts that I found worked and still let me, you know, have a chance at beating him. These loadouts, at least for me, made it so that he didn't do the Doom attack, and he started doing the little cross slash move. And the thing with the cross slash is it's one of the best attacks to parry on him, to get some damage on him. Now the Doom attack, he'll shoot out some white lights at you, white strings, and if you get hit by it, it'll start a 5-second counter. Just mash X to get out of it. You'll have 1 health, so you have to sort of try to fix yourself up from there. With this attack, you can actually block it if you see it coming. The problem is if he hits you again, the counter goes by faster. After the once he hits you a third time, I think it's pretty much impossible to get out of it. If you dodge it, which you can, it stays out for a long time, so it might even catch you at the end of your dodge, which is super annoying. Sometimes you'll follow up the tornado with this, and you'll have 1 health with no cure, and you usually can't react fast enough, so it's almost always an insta-kill, at least for me. This is why this is my least favorite attack, and the more you can avoid it, the better. Another attack he does, the Ethereal Blades. He'll use his light blades and do either a 3-hit combo or an extended combo. Usually when he starts doing this, I dash back and wait to see if it's going to be 3 hits or if it's going to keep going. If he keeps going, you hit the block on him, heal up anything that any damage you might have taken, and you can counter him at the end. You can counter him in the middle of the combo and then mash out square to start blocking again and do another counter at the end. The problem with this is it's inconsistent, and I haven't really nailed down a way to sort of time that perfectly. Again, we're noobs here, so just block until the very end. As soon as you see him jump up, he's going to flip behind you and attack. Right there you can hit the counter attack. You may or may not hit him. I haven't really timed that very well either, but you will build up meter, and That is the goal for most of this, is you want to build up meter as much as possible. Another attack he does, he dashes at you with turning his light blades into a spear. If he misses, he'll sort of just stand there and you can counterattack this. If he hits you, he will flip you up in the air and do another attack. So the first attack will always get you down to 1 health. If you're still in a combo, the second attack will just keep you at 1 health. This has a chance to stop the combo after the first attack and kill you on the second attack. It's happened to me a couple of times, even without like pressing square in the air or something like that. Another attack he does is Collision Magnet. He'll jump up and shoot out a light spear to the ground. If you're in the vicinity and he hits you, it'll bring you up. You can dodge out of it, so you just air dash out of it. If you're outside of the range, you can either dodge your way through it and get underneath him, where you can get ready to counterattack him, or you can stay out and heal yourself if you need to, or gather your thoughts. He'll give you a good bit of time when he's doing this attack. If he does grab you and hit you though, it'll obviously take you down to 1 health like everything else he does. Another attack he does is the cross slash type move. You'll see him jump up and he'll shoot out a red X towards you and is sort of homing. This you can dodge through it, and if you see him jump up, as soon as he throws the attack out, dodge towards him, and when he lands, hit him with a Thunder Surge. Terra! Hit him with the Thunder Surge! This is probably my favorite attack to see him do. Another one he does is the little light orbs. These are a bitch and a half. If you can block them, it'll heal you a little bit, and you might get hit from behind, but it'll count as a combo. You can get lucky, and the first one will be in front of you every time, so you can keep blocking. A lot of times you're not so lucky. This is where the cures and the reload boost come into play. So the best thing to do is sort of get hit by it, wait until there's sort of a lull before the combo breaks, cure yourself, get hit by it again, wait a little bit, cure yourself, and sort of draw out the whole attack. This is the easiest way to sort of get through it. Sometimes you might mistime it and it'll kill you anyway, but this is the most consistent way that I found to get through this attack. Another attack he does is a Sonic Dash. He'll dash at you, and you can block the first attack, wait until he's about to hit you and hit the counter attack, and that'll go through the next 2 attacks, and you might even hit him. The problem with this is if he does the 4th one. Sometimes he does 3, sometimes he does 4. If he does a 4th one, then you're going to get hit. You can try to dodge the first one and block the second one and do the same thing. It's sort of up to luck what happens if you block the first one, but it's avoidable. The problem with this one is if he hits you with the first one, he'll juggle you up in the air, and sometimes it'll break him out of a combo and it'll kill you. So do what you can to sort of just get hit once or not at all. Another attack he does is a little tornado move. He'll stop and you'll see wind around him for half a second. He'll shoot out a tornado at you. If this attack hits you, it'll bring you down to 1 HP like everything else, and it'll knock all your commands to the ground. So you have to go around and collect all your commands. Every time you grab one, it'll start you back at the first command. To avoid this, as soon as you see the air around him, you can either dodge towards him, going through the attack, or you can Thunder Surge at him, also going through the attack. If you dodge to him, you can Thunder Surge after the fact. This is pretty easy to avoid in general, but sometimes it can catch you off guard and really screw you up. Or sometimes you'll do this like 3 times in a row. Another attack you can do is pull up some fire pillars, sort of like the Raging Storm attack. If you see this happening, it's very easy to dodge. You dodge the first one, and if you time it right, you know when he's about to do the next one, start dodging before he does it. Just dodge to the side, and you'll almost always avoid it. If you do get hit by it, just let it keep hitting you. It'll keep you juggled up in the air, and when it finishes, just cure yourself. Now there's another one where he multiplies himself. He'll have five of him running around at you. If you can react quick enough to it, try to Thunder Surge at him. It'll get rid of all of the fake ones, and maybe you'll get hit by one of his attacks, but it's better than being juggled around by all of them and then broken out of a combo and killed without being able to react to anything. If you can't do that, and one of them starts attacking you, try to block, and then if they get close enough to you, do a counter, and it should be able to get rid of the ones around you. Now the problem with this is if sometimes he loses his goddamn mind, and while he's doing this he also does some other crazy moves and you really can't do anything about it and you might just get killed. And that's a hard reset. Now another thing he does is if you're hitting him too much, he will do a little barrier and the barrier will heal him. So let's say you do a Thunder Surge, at the end of the Thunder Surge it might heal him for the last hit or something like that. But it's not so bad. The worst part of this is if you do like a shot lock, because a shot lock won't do anything. If you can even get off a shot lock, which is possible, the first few might hit him, but then the rest will just heal him right back up to full health. So it's really not even worth it. Now once you get him past half health, he will go invisible. Once he goes invisible, all bets are off. He can do almost any attack he feels like. He can do the Doom attack. He can do the anything but I believe the multiply one. I don't think he ever goes to like 5 of him. I wouldn't put it past him, but I don't think I've ever seen it happen. When he does this, really the best thing to do is just dodge. Take your time and dodge around the arena as much as possible. This is the hardest part. This is the most RNG part of the whole match, and you really can't avoid anything because you can't just block in his direction. Now he'll be invisible for 30 seconds, so if you can survive the 30 seconds, it'll be sort of the same situation as before he was visible. The only thing is that once he comes back, he'll actually have a likelihood of doing the Doom command, even if you set it up to where he wouldn't at the beginning. Another attack he'll do is Meteor. Basically, you'll see the screen go red, and if you time it right, you can dodge through the attack. However, a lot of times you'll just get hit by it, so just get ready to cure. Another attack he'll do is Mega Flare. For this one, you'll see like a ball in the middle of the arena. You may or may not. You can dodge it if you see the ball. You can probably time it and dodge it right, but it does do multiple hits, so good luck with that. I just let myself get hit and then try to cure it. Now apparently there's another move that he does. It's sort of like a time reversal thing, and he'll heal himself a little bit after he takes some damage. I haven't noticed it happen. It may or may not happen, but I don't think it's very significant. Alright, so now that we covered the basics, let's get on to the actual fight. For this part, I'm going to focus a little bit more on Terra because Aqua and Ventus are pretty much just going to be dodge rolling until they find an opening. That is the whole strategy with those two, so we're going to focus on Terra for a little bit. Now with Terra, you have to sort of pick and choose your fights. You still sort of counter the same attacks that Aqua and Ventus do. It's just that you are limited to your degrees of freedom as far as what you can do and what you can't do. As far as something like the light orbs, you have to stand back and try to make sure you block it correctly. Again, with Aqua and Ventus, you just keep dodge rolling. Here's where getting rid of Doom helps in this fight massively. If you see him rushing you, a lot of times the best thing to do is to back up a little bit and read what he's going to do and then react to it. So if you back up and he does Tornado, you can dodge back in, or you can Thunder Surge back in. If he starts doing the Ethereal Blade combo, you can react to that, block it, do whatever you have to do. If he rushes you and he does Doom and you dash back before he does it just to read what he's going to do, Doom will hit you. That's the biggest problem. Doom will hit you because it's got a long reach. So once you get rid of that for the beginning phase, that phase becomes a lot more manageable. Because again, you want to back up and you want to see what he's going to do next. And Doom sort of cuts that option right off for you. Alright, back to Aqua and Ventus. Basically, like I said, just dodge until you find an opening. You might lose a thumb or two, but this is, again, the noob way of doing it, the easiest way of doing it. And as long as you don't have to worry about Doom too often, you don't have to worry about sort of a counter attack once you try to Thunder Surge him. When you get him close to halfway, he's gonna want to go invisible. You really want to rush him down here. You don't want to let him have a chance. You want to build your meter. You're going to do as many counterattacks as possible. You want to do as many Thunder Surges as possible. Get to Rhythm Mixer, because that's what will help you finish him off while he's invisible. As he's invisible, you can't lock onto him. The Rhythm Mixer has an area of effect attack, and it does a lot of damage over a long period of time. He's going to keep running through your body trying to rush you down, and as he's doing that, he's going to get hit by Rhythm Mixer. And once you beat him with Terra, like I said, Aqua and Ventus aren't terrible just because you can abuse the invincibility of their dodge. There may be times where you might like mess up and not dodge correctly, but overall it took me less than half the time to beat him with those two combined than it took to beat him with Terra.